Do the Right Thing is really my first taste of Spike Lee. I'd seen his hostage heist film Inside Man and I wasn't really a fan, and I got the impression that it was kind of soulless director for hire work by Lee. The guy is known for his passionate, racially charged films, his showcase of the urban street violence, and African American black culture in general. So I went back in time to one of his very first films, his breakout Do the Right Thing. This movie takes a peek at the life in a district of Brooklyn on the hottest day of the year, when the overbearing sun chisels away at the patience and tolerance of the inhabitants. In and among the many colourful characters that live there, there's the Italian-American Sal and his pizza parlour that he's owned for 25 years, and his son whose frustration in living in a black neighbourhood eats away at him day by day. Sal, on the other hand, feels a sense of pride in being part of the neighbourhood, in knowing that the people around him grew up on his food. One of his customers, called Bugging Out, complains that Sal only has pictures of famous Italian Americans on his wall and wants more black representation, and decides to boycott the pizza parlour. And this small event, seemingly standard for the bizarre, offbeat and humorous world we are witnessing, snowballs and kickstarts a showcase of frustration, hate and bigotry that accumulates into a violent and tragic climax. Lee himself plays Mookie, the closest thing the film has to a protagonist, who is Sal's delivery boy and who always seems to be in the centre of the action. The film was a captivating exploration of extremities in terms of prejudice, racism and the politics associated with inner city life. There are many ideas that come from many different characters. Everyone has a say in how life is and how it should be lived, from the alcoholic bum to the overzealous cops, the laid-back threesome who always sit on the street corner on their arses but are yet irritated by the successful Korean shopkeeper, and the radio host Mr. Senior Love Daddy, played by a pre-Pulp Fiction fame Samuel L. Jackson. The film is pivoted around the title, the question as to what is the right thing. It never answers the question for you, instead throwing at you a very difficult, conflicted and confusing situation and daring you to ask, what is the right thing? The biggest talking point of all is the climax of the film, and the debate as to who, if anyone, did the right thing. Everyone's at fault in some way, no one is left unscathed from the movie's finger-pointing. Everyone could have handled things a little differently to stop events spiralling out of control. But again, that's hindsight talking, there up on its high, condescending and pompous horse. The movie explores numerous viewpoints, flip-flopping between this character and that, before leaving you to ponder on two contrasting quotes on violence by two contrasting personalities of African American civil rights, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. A shout out to the style of the film also. The colour palette and cinematography really radiates the heat through the screen. You could feel the tension and emotions emit and spark throughout the visuals alone. And there's always something there to remind you just how hot it is, from characters always mentioning something about the sun or the heat, looking up every minute or so at the sun, or there being numerous images of fans and water being drunk. It makes you hot and sweaty. The dialogue was sharp, thoughtful and individualized to give every character his or her own voice. More than anything else, I think Do the Right Thing is a perfect catalyst for discussion. You could put this on with your friends and family on a Saturday afternoon, or screen it to a university class, or just with you and your best mate, and could be talking about the film for hours and hours after you're done. The film is also very clever in that I think it kind of lures you into a corner where you could end up saying, well, so-and-so deserved his fate, based on, if we're honest, our own prejudices. And then the film forces us to structure our priorities into a hierarchy to ask us, what is more important? To show us, say, for example, without giving away spoilers, an unlikable person and have him meet a bad fate, and then challenge our reaction and ask us, yes, he was unlikable, he was stupid, but what happened to him, those that did it, did they do the right thing? I like this movie. It was passionate, it was full of emotion and anger, and it left me thinking, it left me pondering. I give it an 8 out of 10.